yeah, the cameraman's running with you. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Sure enough, it's a great shot. Ethan.
Yeah, and I hurt myself. He was worried about the camera. Cameraman, we had a genius cameraman. He could do anything.
Why don't we start with just giving the audience who hasn't seen the film a little idea about what The Wait is actually about?
Okay, The Wait is about.
Do it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do it. It's an old school adventure film with hopefully a lot of heart and some character-driven drama. It's about a man who gets incarcerated and has to take a possibly dirty deal to try to get his daughter out from losing her to the system, into an orphanage and losing her to the system. So he goes on a wild journey with these two and 5 others, and they smuggle some gold through the wilderness, and hijinks ensue.
Pat likes to call the movie analog, which is, I love that, because that is what it is. It's kind of we're chasing those old school adventure films where they are thrilling, but have a lot of heart and substance to them.
Why did you set your movie in 1930s Oregon? What about that time and place felt urgent to communicate right now?
Yeah, well, there's unfortunately, there's a lot of similarities popping up between now and the Great Depression, not the least of which is you're seeing people, families being split apart. There's definitely a discrepancy on what's happening with the wealthy and the not so wealthy in our country. In 1933, what happened was the U.S. government confiscated all the privately owned gold in America. So between the gold being confiscated and then jacked up for the people who now had the gold, the price of the gold being jacked up, along with what was happening with families who couldn't make ends meet during the Great Depression and losing their kids into the foster care system and orphanages, it was just a right place to set the world for an adventure film.
It also felt like, at least from my point of view right now, that setting is full of mystery and drama. I've just always been attracted to it. But I loved the opportunity to play a character I really admired. Often it's fun as an actor to play dark characters or have these malevolent tones to them or whatever. But to get to play somebody who kind of does say what they mean, has personal integrity, has a personal honor, does keep their word and care for others, that kind of old school vision of what is the best version of what we call masculinity, and to see it and get to play it. Just speaking of the depression, what went through my head was when I was first like an adult, like 20, and I'd made a little bit of money, I met my grandfather at a diner in Fort Worth, and I left a really good tip, and my grandfather picked it back up. Stop putting on airs. Like as a Depression era kid, I thought I was being generous, and he was so frugal. His whole thing is be frugal so you can be generous. Like he paid for my college. I mean, he was very generous when it came. But man, leaving more than the change in your pocket is putting on airs to him.
Yeah,
it was like you're a big spender.
That era.
He's like, I want to punch people that do that. Wow. It's just a different way of looking at it.
So this is for all 3 of you. What do you think makes a good scene partner?
Ethan. I mean, no, it was a real pleasure. I'd never got to work with him before, and every time we would come to set, he would have 10 to 20 ideas of how he wanted the scene to go, and not all of them worked, but then there were some that were like, oh yeah, that's... So it just having a sort of bird's eye view of the scene and making sure everybody's sort of, does that work with your character? Is everybody comfortable with it?
I can hear Ethan, hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Like, what about this?
Yeah,
and then, that's a part of it, the ideas, but then the openness, and everybody would say, yeah, we try it.
Just try it.
Just try it.
Give it a whirl.
Let's see it.
And then all sorts of things happen from there.
And then having Pad allowing that to happen and not white knuckling what he wants.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit.
Sure.
This is obviously the first Sundance since its creator Robert Redford's death, and the last festival in the city he launched it in. I'm curious for y'all, what Robert Redford film do you return to the most?
Because on the walk up here, I saw in the window of one of those things, the final shot. There's a big still of the final shot of Butch and Sundance. And one of the things about that final shot that makes it so great for me, as a young American male growing up in the 70s in Texas, that was an iconic image of 2 men who were not only great artists, but they were both humanitarians.
Yeah.
They were both leaders. They both cared for others. They were men to whom much was given, who gave back a lot freely. So you can look at that still, and one part of your brain is looking at Butch and Sundance and how much you love them. And another part of your brain is going, you're so proud of the people that Paul Newman and Robert Redford were, what they stood for. So what that movie stands for is bigger than just, it is cool, it is the definition of cool, but it's also the best definition of cool, which is like, honor, integrity, empowering other people, bringing people together.
This is a little bit of a heavier question, but I'm very curious to hear the answer from some great artists. To those that would say AI is the future of art, how would you argue that human creativity matters?
When we were talking about nature and the power of nature, and like nature is reality, and when you get away from reality, you get lost. And human creativity is nature manifest in us. It is how it is happening in us. It is our natural. And like if I see, you could do the most beautiful picture, painting, AI could make an amazing portrait of the Sundance Film Festival. It'd be incredible. Or my 14-year-old could color her impression of it. And the thing about my 14-year-old is it's not perfect. It's hers. It's unique to a moment in time and a place, and it's inimitable because it's coming from her, and she is beautiful. And it's not the painting, it's the energy behind the painting. That is what makes a poem great, is not this collection of words. It's the energy behind the poem. The dance can be, haven't you seen people who can barely dance and you can cry at the joy happening with the music because they're alive right now and they won't be forever. And when we start making things being about perfection, you're just belittling the experience of life. You're just totally ceding your humanity. And it makes me sad, but it also makes me excited because I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it.